お前を退学にはさせない。どんな手を使ってもな。
Aww, Ayanokoji. Hi everyone, my name is Bimi and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be reacting to Classroom of the Elite, Season 3, Episode 2, Man is Wolf to Man. Last episode, they are going to be having this new test. They are mixing the classes together, making them into different groups of gender groups, whatever. You have the boys and then you have the girls, and each girl group or each boy group is a mix of different students from the different classes, and they have to live together, and then they're gonna be taking some kind of test. I believe 4 tests at the end of this, and whichever class is no class group gets the least amount of points, they are in danger of being expelled. Like at least 2 students, I believe. I don't quite remember everything. So yeah, Manabu has been challenged by what was his name again? Miyabi to some kind of duel. What else? Uh, Manabu enlisted Akatsuki Ayanokoji help in dealing with Miyabi. What else is there? Ayanokoji has asked Karuizawa to keep an eye on a few people. I don't know who she's gonna be keeping her eyes on, but yeah. Okay, let's stop there. So that's what about last episode. And before we get into this one, if you guys like my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and please consider supporting my Patreon at patreon.com/philly And now let's start this episode. And here we go.
Okay guys, in case the reaction gets blocked and I had to cut out the reaction itself, you can just look in the pinned comments in the comment section where for the link to the reaction highlight itself, so you can just click on it, watch it, and then you just come back for my review.
Homo homini lupus. The Lan? Oh yeah, Koenji and Ayanokoji are in the same group. Nah. Who chose him to be the leader? Did he volunteer?
高円寺は俺が呼び戻してくる。お前たちまで遅れる。足の怪我が重くなったら、綾野浩二。すまない、二人とも。
I wonder what the queen has sent him to do in that group.
綾野浩二ボーイじゃないか。見ての通り、イノシシと戯れていたのだよ。
Bit of sport.
私に何か用かな。
試験当日のことだ。グループに力を貸してほしい。
これを決めるのは君じゃなくて私だ。なるほど。
何がなるほどなんだ。
ドラゴンボーイをおとなしくさせた人物の正体さ。
悪いが盛大な勘違い。
Nah, he's not.
安心したまえ。君の隠し事を表に出すつもりはないさ。私の思うがままに行動する。
And what if your heart tells you to follow him?
誰にも動かせそうにないな。
Are you sure? Or you just haven't found the right lever against him?
飛び入りでイノシシ肉が手に入ったそうだよ。あれは誰が取ったんだよ。
Who is she?
これ落としませんでしたか。
え、あ、本
当だ。Who are
ま
you?
さか君が拾ってくれるなんてね。
俺のこと知ってるんですか。
南雲生徒会長も君に注目してるよ。
俺足の速さ。
Right.
も 先輩から目をつけられなくなりますかね。
なんなら君が倒しちゃえば。
一つの手かもしれませんね。
やだもう、冗談だって。
南雲先輩を倒されたらやっぱり困りますか？
私だってみやびとは結構深い関係なんだけどな。
Okay. Are we gonna know your name?
俺が聞きたいのは女子のグループ分けの時のことです。
Okay.
なあ石崎、ちょっといいか。よくねえよ。俺は小中とサッカーをやってた。いきなり何の話だよ。全員一丸となって全国目指している中、どこか冷めて見てる自分がいた。この場にいちゃいけないってな。
He's pretending not to be asleep, right?
けど疎外感みたいなのはずっと感じてた。だからサッカーはやめた。昔のお前らはどんなだったんだよ。あ？俺は何もねえよ。運動は苦手で、そもそも運動能力なんて伸ばしても無意味だと思ってた。けど俺の対局にある須藤の方が気がつけば俺なんかよりよっぽどクラスの役に立ってた。無人島や体育祭の時と同じ。すまない石崎、手本を見せるべき責任者がこんな状態だ。ざけんな。なので謝んなよ。
This guy has just now created a whole. What they're gonna be depending on each other a little bit more, I guess.
こんな寄せ集めグループ、お前以外に責任者引き受けるやつなんかいなかったろうな。
石崎。
Whose glasses are those? Of course, he's not doing anything. Following his heart, right?
お前はちょっと休んでろ。
いや、しかし
本番走れなくなる方が
Aww.
120点ぐらい取れよ。いい心がけだね、不良くん。
で
うっせえ、殺すぞ、高円寺。
みんな明日の駅伝についてだが、思いついた作戦を聞いてほしい。得意なやつにできるだけ長距離を走らせるってことか。ああ、きつい負担になるが。
いいぜ、走ってやるよ。ああ、そこそこ速いけど持久力は意外とねえんだよ、こいつ。
Sorry.
じゃあ俺もできるだけやってみる。いいのか清高。
高円寺だが、
あいつを説得するのは無理だろうな。結局出たとこ勝負か。
みちゃんは一ノ瀬さんのグループだったよね。うちのクラスから一人だけ。
お前ら元気にやってっか。
ことがあったら何でも相談してね。
ありがとう、平田くん。
Okay. Is that Michan?
どうしてそんなところで泣いてるんだ。
私が不安なのは堀北くんのことです。
あの男に不安なんてあるのか。
Oh, that's the second to hold. Yeah, okay.
私たちが足を引っ張っていたから、いつも自分を犠牲にして仲間を守ってきてくれたんです。
本当に今困ってることはないのか。
しつこいですね。何もありません。このことは忘れてください。
Is he going to see the queen?
橋本と龍炎。
What is going on?
さすがにここからじゃ何を話してるかまではわからないな。
What the heck? What the heck?
迎えた全4種の試験。筆記試験では雪村が本領を発揮し、だがやはり大きく結果を左右するのは、
Hey. I thought he said that Albert didn't have stamina.
俺に余分に走らせたんだから根性見せろや。
I'm worried that someone may be setting a trap or something or other for them. Don't pass out. Give it to him.
よくやった。あとは任せろ。
Run. Wait, is Koenji the last runner?
さて軽く汗を流してこようじゃないか。
Will you?
男子は全グループがボーダーラインを越えており、退学者はゼロとなった。ちなみに総合点1位は3年 A クラス堀北学のグループ。
やったな堀北。
おめでとうございます堀北先輩。いやさすがですね。
お前の負けだなナグモ。
グループだが残念ながらボーダーを下回ったグループが一つある。クラス碇桃子のグループだ。
何をしたナグモ。
問題なのは責任者じゃなく道連れの方だと思うぞ。
碇、誰を指定する？
決まっています。
For a second in comment.
立花茜さんです。
すべては南雲の罠。南雲は子飼いの女子たちを操り、わざとボーダーを下回って立花を道連れにするためだけのグループを作り上げた。
堀北くんの負担になることが分かってたからごめんなさい。
麗しき友情。
なぜあえて立花を狙った？
見てみたかったんですよ。彼女の存在を消した時どんな顔をするのか。
違えど俺はお前を信用していた。
信用なんざ自分から捨てたんですよ。
南雲の悪意の勝利だが、堀北学にとって立花は必ずしも必要な駒ではないはずだ。
立花が退学する前提で話を進めているようだな。
本当に吐き出すんですか？立花先輩を救うために大量のポイントを。
お願いやめて。
すまないみんな。
二面性は南雲だけではなかったということか。
私があの碇って先輩なら退学になるなんて絶対ごめんだけど。
少なくとも碇は退学にはならない。大量のポイント支出による退学救済、その肩代わりは南雲が約束したはず。2年生は南雲の下で一枚岩だ。全員から集めれば安い買い物。
すごいめちゃくちゃな戦い方。
それが南雲みやびの戦い方なんだろうな。
あと一つだけ教えて。もし私が同じ状況になったら。
お前を退学にはさせない。どんな手を使ってもな。
Aww, Ayanokoji, because he's still a pawn to him, a valuable pawn, but still.
を巻き込み、高度育成高等学校の退学者は続出していくことになる。
Oh, first time let's listen to the outro. Oh, the queen. I kept asking myself the whole time, who's that behind her? But the hair seems to be Ayanokoji's hair. Where do I start? Okay, let's talk about the duel, I guess, between Miyabi and Manabu. So this whole thing was orchestrated by Miyabi so that he can have, what's her name, Tachibana? Oh. I left the episode already. I guess Manabu's second vice, the girl that used to be her vice president, I guess, expelled because based on what Ayanokoji was thinking, it seems like Miyabi thought that the vice president, like the girl, is it Micha? I feel like she's called Micha, or is somebody else called Micha? I don't know. Oh, well, let me just look up her name so that I know what I'm talking about. Who I'm talking about. Oh, it's Akane Tachibana. And she's the secretary. Oh, yeah. Akane Tachibana, that's her name. So he's done all of this in order to get her expelled, thinking that Akane Tachibana was a valuable person to Manabu. But then Ayanokoji is thinking that she's not that valuable to him, to Manabu. But if she is not that valuable, why would he spend their classes point in order to buy back her expulsion? Is it just because he doesn't? I don't think it's just because he doesn't want Miyabi to win. It seems like everyone that is in his atmosphere, everyone that is loyal to Manabu, he's also loyal to. And he cares about them, he protects them based on what when Ayanokoji walked up to Tachibana and then she was crying and he's like, why are you crying? And then she said she was crying because of Manabu and that he's taking everything, he's doing everything by himself and that he's protecting them, that they are a burden to him. So clearly they all look up to him and he takes care of them, I guess. So they have this relationship, this I'm gonna say loving relationship, even though he seems all the time he seems like someone that's hard. Whatever. They care about each other, they protect each other basically. So the fact that Akane was being expelled at the money machinations or whatever of Miyabi did not sit well with Manabu, and he used the classes points. And I love that he asked the classes permission before he did that, because he turned to them and he's like, are you guys okay with this, basically? And they're like, yeah. And then they use the classes point to buy her back, I guess. Now when it came to Miyabi, and Koji says that that person that was gonna be expelled on his team or whatever was not gonna be expelled either, because he was also gonna be buying her expulsion back, like keeping her from being expelled. Keep her from being expelled. And that I don't quite remember the phrasing that Ayanokoji used, but it seems like Miyabi has, instead of the one class that Manabu, he only had one classes points that he used, his classes points that he used. It seems like Miyabi has access to multiple classes points. So it made the strain, I guess, on them less than the strain that Manabu had has on his class. Like the amount of points that he took from his class is a whole lot. And if you look at Miyabi, him, if he has other classes below him or whatever that have their points, that are willing to share their points with him or whatever, then that the amount of points that he's taken from each of them is less than the amount of point that um Manabu has taken from his own class. So I guess points wise, his class is like way down, while Miyabi's classes or whatever, they're still up there somewhere or other. I think that's what Ayanokoji was talking about. I'm pretty sure when I'm editing this reaction, I'm gonna look more into it. But yeah. What was up with that meeting between what's his name again? Hashimoto, Ryuen, Manabu, and I believe Miyabi. I think it was those four. They were sleeping, right? And then Hashimoto gets up. Ayanokoji follows him. And then he winds up seeing those four having some kind of meeting together. What was up with that? Unless I'm mistaken, it is Miyabi and Manabu there, right? What do they have to talk about? What were they talking about? I don't know. I thought when that not Tachibana, Hashimoto, when he left the room, that he was going to be meeting up with the queen, Sakayanagi. That's what I thought. But that's not what happened. He went and met up with those three. This is weird. There was a scene where Ayanokoji, I don't quite remember what they were doing, if they were eating or something. And then someone walked by and dropped something. And when that thing dropped, whatever it was, I was like, wait, did that person drop it on purpose? And then Ayanokoji picked it up and he's like, oh, this is this person's thing. And then he goes after that girl and then gives it back to her and then starts asking questions. They started talking about Miyabi and all of that. And the girl, clearly the way she was talking, she's not really a fan of Miyabi. And Ayanokoji winds up asking her, before he asked her whatever the question, whatever, he was asking. The girl was saying that Miyabi had his eyes on Ayanokoji, and Ayanokoji is like, okay, how do I get him to like stop having his eyes on me? And then the girl is like, maybe if you beat him at something. And Ayanokoji basically was taking it seriously, and the girl is like, I'm just joking. But then he's like, okay, well, I'm not joking. So what do I need to do? And then the girl is like, oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna help you. What do you need or something or other? And then that's when he asked the question. And the question was that what happened when the girl groups were being formed or something or other like that. We didn't hear the answer to that. But I guess basically what the girl said is probably what made him realize what Miyabi did to Tachibana, I guess. There was also a flash of a scene where it seemed like Karuizawa was asking questions, was questioning these girls about how Mei-chan was part of Ichinose's group and basically, I'm guessing, gathering information. Since Ayanokoji asked her to keep her eyes on some people, I'm guessing that was her doing the job, I guess. Is that where Ayanokoji walked by her and then she dropped something into his hands? I think it was there. I'm not sure. Now when it came to Ayanokoji's group, well, not Ayanokoji's group. What was the leader's name? Yukimura. When it came to Yukimura's group, there was clear tension between all of them. They were training, I guess, for the marathon that they were gonna be having. Koenji like just left them behind and jumped into the void. Yukimura got hurt. Ishizaki was talking trash again to not these names to Yukimura, right? The Yukimura got hurt. He's trying to catch up, but he's hurt, so he's not really able to do anything. And then that's when Hashimoto was like holding on to him, and they're like, okay, we're just gonna do this slowly, I guess. And Ayanokoji is like, okay, I'm gonna go after Koenji. And then he goes to Koenji. Koenji is there after having caught a boar, killed a boar. Oh my gosh. And Koenji was like, okay, what do you want? And Ayanokoji was like, okay, I need you to help with the group when it comes to the final exam or test or whatever. And then he's like, I'm gonna do whatever I want. And Ayanokoji like just like grabbed him, and he basically revealed to Ayanokoji that he knew that he was the mastermind that got Ryo to basically where he is right now. And Ayanokoji tried to play it off, but Koenji's like, don't worry, I'm not gonna tell anybody, but I'm still gonna be following my heart. And I'm like, okay, so what if your heart tells you to reveal who Ayanokoji is? But either way, after saying that, he left, and then Ayanokoji is like, okay, there's no one can control him or something or other like that. And I'm like, it seems like it, but knowing who you are, I'm guessing sooner or later you're gonna find something to use against Koenji in order to control him or whatever. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but it may. So seeing the way their group is just like all over the place. At night, they were in the room together there, and then Hashimoto just started talking to Ishizaki, and then he told them the story about how he was in this soccer team, and then he wasn't really I think when he was telling his story, I was talking at some point, so I missed parts of it. But basically, it got them to start talking about themselves, sort of. And he asked Ishizaki if he wanted to say anything that he's keeping, whatever. Ishizaki's like, nope. And that's when Yukimura started talking about how he was all about studying. He didn't, even though he wasn't great at sports, he didn't feel like he needed sports in order to get to class A. But then he's realized, especially after Sudo, who was his complete opposite, has helped more when it came to the sports festival and other things. He's felt inadequate, and he started crying, and Shizaki started feeling bad, and then it sort of like brought the whole group, I guess, together. And then the next day, while they were doing some kind of task, I believe Yukimura was carrying something, but then Ishizaki took it away from him, and it's like, you need to rest your leg and all of that. And then Yukimura, okay, it's like, okay guys, I've thought about the marathon, about how to best, like I have a plan. And he's like, okay, during the marathon, each person is supposed to be running at least a certain amount of distance. But because some of them are better at sports than others, then he's like, okay, what if, okay, the ones that aren't that good at it, they just run those minimum distance, and then everybody else that's pretty good at sports just sort of like take over do the most, I guess, that they're capable of doing. And they agreed with that. And they did. Koenji was the last person that was supposed to run. I'm like, is this guy gonna do it? I feel like it's the fact that he saw Ayanokoji run pretty hard. I think that's what made him also wanna run. Because I feel like if he was, let's say everybody else ran, and then the one that was gonna come up to Koenji was, let's say, Yukimura, and he's seeing him struggle to get up to him, he's gonna be like, ugh, look at that. What would I want to, use all my strength for you guys? Like, I don't care. And then not run. He's at full strength, I guess. But then seeing Ayanokoji do his thing, maybe that's what pushed him to want to exert himself as well. Either way, everything went well with their group. Nobody was expelled. So it worked. I'm guessing the only group that was gonna be expelled was the girls. Miyabi's girl group, whatever. But I guess at the end of it, no one is getting expelled because they spent their points in order to reject their expulsion. Whatever. But at the end of the episode there, Ayanokoji is like, there are more people that were expelled during the course of the year or something or other like that from all the classes. So who are going to be those people? Is Kushida going to be one of them? I mean, Ayanokoji did say that he was going to have her expelled. So if all the classes, there are expulsions from all the classes, then I can only hope that Kushida is one of them. I don't know, I guess we'll see. Okay. I don't think there's anything else to mention or that I can think about. So thank you guys for watching. And if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe. And if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, the link is going to be in the pinned comment, so you can just click on it and you can watch it right now. And you can also catch up with all my previous Akatsuki, oh my goodness, Classroom of the Elite reactions. There's a playlist in the comment as well. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Cause I can't be back to the fall. On the money, I be quack to the go. But I bet if I drop in the hole in the road. But I never get doggy ball. It's like a